Sports. Nick Alessandrini, Jason McCall, and now we have a very special guest in studio here with us on a Monday night. Esaias Guthrie, the former DB out of Del State, the former Middletown Cavalier, again, first team All-MEAC selection, FCS freshman, Hero Sports All-American, is in the house joining us tonight here. Esaias, really appreciate you coming in. I know you're a busy guy, so appreciate you taking the time to join us here tonight.
Never too busy for you guys. Appreciate you guys for having me, seriously.
Well, I appreciate it. Again, thanks for, bringing yourself in. We're excited to talk to you, to talk some football here. And just to get started, obviously, you having been a member of the Middletown Cavalier football program here in the state of Delaware. They were able to bring home a state championship last year. Have you been keeping up with Middletown at all? How was your experience at Middletown, and how's everything been with the Cavaliers?
Yeah, I mean, I always keep up with Delaware football, Delaware sports in general. The Cavaliers, I'm forever grateful to them. I transferred there after my sophomore year, and they welcomed me in with open arms, So that's always somewhere I love to be, a place I love to be. I had great memories there, and so they're doing some great things as far as football-wise. After football, with guys going to different schools, offers and stuff. They got a new coach there, Brian Johnson, who does a lot of things for guys getting recruited, and I love what they're doing, and I'm always going to support them. So it's always family.
You're making them look good as well, being an All-MEAC, first team selection, the FCS Hero Sports freshman All-American. So again, you're able to go to Del State as a wide receiver, right, initially when you got there. Just talk a little bit about the story and how you got to Del State, why you maybe chose Del State, and kind of the background there.
So I was recruited at the end of my senior year to go to Del State. I had a few different offers from a few different places. And so I had to make sure that one stood out bigger than the other. And so I gave a team a proposition, and I said, hey, look, I got a guy. One of my best friends from high school, Trey Griffin. I got a guy who allowed me to stay in his home and go to school and do these different things. Are you able to make something happen? Let's get him a scholarship, give me a scholarship. Let's do a 2-for-1 deal. And Delaware State said, let's do it. And I was able to bless him and still be able to follow my dreams. So it was really dope.
Wow, that's a great story.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that part of the story. So, I mean, you're obviously a stand-up guy in what you do, but on the football field, but also at Delaware State, during your time in Delaware State, what was what's been like your best memory so far? What stands out to you as far as both the academic and the athletic experience at Delaware State?
Going to college, right? Like you have your family, right? Like you have your family, and then you go to college and you build this other family, And so going to college and playing on the football team and forming this family that I've formed, that I talk to every day, whether I'm going to be at Delaware State or not. I think that's the biggest memory I have and what I'm forever grateful for, being able to forge a family, forge a bond with guys, and something I'm going to have for a lifetime. So that's something I can never even put a price on, really.
Okay, so to follow that up, I would say not just Delaware State, but overall, how you feel up, how important rather is the HBCU experience to someone like yourself?
It's big. It's big. Going to HBCU is different. It's different. It's a different experience. The fan bases are different. The environment's different. The classroom's different. The campus is different. Everything's different about it. It's not something I'd say that is something that is hard yes or no for me right now with me transferring or anything like that, but it definitely is a factor at the end of the day.
Thank you.
And Esaias, I know you mentioned, maybe some things that stood out to you about Del State and stuff like that. Do you have maybe a play? Is there just one play maybe that you have in your head from your time so far in college that, maybe that just really stands out to you? Maybe your favorite play defensively here the last couple of years?
I guess it would have to be the play that really started it all for me. We're going against Howard, fourth quarter. It's about 2 minutes left to go. Tie ball game, or maybe it's like 10-7, something like that. I go from safety to corner. He drops back. Guy does a hitch. He's late to read. He's a second read. I jump it, take it to the house for 6, and that's where it all started for me.
I was going to say the pick 6.
Yeah, pick 6.
See, the way you're able to decipher and talk about it, talk a little about the coverage and stuff like that and the routes, love to see that football IQ out of you as well. I'm sure
Yeah.
School's been very lucky here in the future. But you mentioned, we talked a little bit about the switch from wide receiver to DB. Did you ever see that coming maybe in your future? Was that on your radar at all before you got to college? Did you ever maybe foresee yourself playing in the secondary?
Yeah, actually. So 2 of my offers in college was for wide receiver, and then 2 was for DB. So it wasn't something I was unfamiliar playing. I moved to DB my senior year of college, like the summer going into my senior year of college. Of high school, I'm sorry. And did a couple of camps and got noticed for my size and my ability, but I didn't have the film. And so a lot of people were neglected to offer. But then I went ahead and played well in high school, got like 6 interceptions or so, 1 for a touchdown, I think, 2 for a touchdown, I think. And so I made a name for myself pretty early, pretty quick. And so when the coaches at DSU, they were at the all-state dinner, and so they pulled up my film, and I was an all-state DB. And so they realized that, they watched the film, and so they were able to make the switch. And so I'm forever grateful for it. I loved it. I love the decision. I love defense. And so it was great to me. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So being as though that you have great ball skills essentially as a DB, by you formerly playing wide receiver position, so what do you take away from your time at wide receiver that you actually use instinctively for yourself playing DB? Because it seems like you can just pretty much read and react to anything that's out there on the field.
Right.
So what do you take away from your time at wide receiving that you incorporate into your current position as a DB?
It's not so much as wide receiver, just understanding offense. And understanding offense is big when you play defense. You know, at the end of the day, an offense has to start doing certain things a certain way, right? It's very meticulous, driving the ball down the field, right? And so when you understand this type of ball, this type of game, and you understand the type of things that have to happen, certain routes have to be ran with other certain routes. You can't run this and run that. You can't do this at certain times. Understanding down the distance, things like that. Everything like that, it allows you to play fast. It allows you to play really fast, read and react. And so my ability to understand that, I played offense, and so I know how this is supposed to be ran. I know how these routes are going to be ran. I know how it's going to look when he's about to do this. And then just further film after that, but right before the game, and knowing the player that I'm playing, it all helps out. It all helps out.
I feel as though it's kind of like a cheat code as you play both sides of the ball, because you know the route trees and where the people can go, but also as a defender, you're knowing those same route trees as you're trying to stop them as well. So kind of like you have the best of both worlds. You kind of decipher who's going where, what time, and then you have the upper hand as far as how you're going to react to whatever switch or whatever hitch or whatever the case may be, as far as the offensive player coming at you. So I feel as though it's a cheat code. Anybody that switches over, it's just like a cheat code to me.
Yeah, definitely in a way. I definitely have the upper hand sometimes. But again, man, it's something I'm grateful for, to be able to play both sides. And just like when we was little kids, a lot of people played every position. You know what I mean? I was a kicker. You know what I mean? I played everything. And so, man, it's a lot of things that go on in football, and I'm grateful for it all, the whole process, the whole journey.
And Esaias, I had the luxury of being on the sideline for that game against Delaware, the Route 1 rivalry, and I noticed some things your teammates were wearing, some 6'3", stuff like that. Can you just go in and talk a little bit about that situation here? What was going on with your teammates there in that game?
So 6'3", love it. Those are my guys. Like I said, man, you're blessed to be with these guys at least 16 hours out of the day. You know what I mean? And so you build these relationships with guys. And so 6'3" was a thing where they understood the burden that was on my heart, the burden that was on my mind. And so when I did finally come to the decision to leave, they were fully supportive. They're supportive to this day. Like I said, I've been able to build this family, this college family that I have. And so I'm forever grateful. And so 6'3" was just a saying like, 6 is on the different things, bigger and better things. He's free. He's free from all the mental tug, the physical tug, the emotional tug that it had on me. And so, they just supported me fully, man. I appreciate them for that.
Yeah, that speaks a lot about you. Your guys are still going to stand by you, with that and represent you the way they did out on the field. I thought that was really cool, and really speaks to the relationship that you guys had with them. And another thing, we had the chance to talk to you just a little bit about before we came here on the air was the My NIL thing you have been working on. You just want to talk a little bit about that? I know the website, everything's getting going.
We're dropping
just
soon.
mention that a little bit, because that's a really cool thing you guys are doing.
Yeah, my NIL Delaware University is a platform and site and teaching tool that I have created with the help of my family to kind of just help college athletes at any different level, just help them really navigate the NIL world. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that are changing constantly, and being able to educate them on those things and educate them how to go about getting a deal, go about reaching out to people, go about securing the deal, closing it, and what to do after you close it, and how to just execute it, right? And so a lot of people don't know that, you know, you don't have to be someone with 100K followers and going to Alabama. You know what I mean? No, you can go to a small school and still get deals and still be productive and still make a name for yourself and help these brands out, essentially, no matter what brand it is, you know?
Yeah, that's a great thing, especially now. That is one of the most important things going on in the world of college sports, is the NIL. And aside, I mean, obviously you getting in there, you graduated in 2019 from high school. The NIL is such a big thing right now. And did you have maybe at all any experience, you know, before NIL as opposed to now, college athletics, or has NIL always been a thing since you got to college? Because I know a lot has changed, as you mentioned, over just the last few years that NIL has become so prevalent here.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty new to me, but I have a great team around me. A mom who is a dog when it comes to business and securing things. So she's my manager, she's my agent, and she gets things done.
Right?
Like that's all I can say.
It's like Lamar. Well, again, we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us tonight. And we were talking a little bit before we went on the air. You know, do you have maybe, you know, a favorite team or somebody you follow? You mentioned you like to follow the Patriots, but is there any player, again, you play wide receiver and DB, is there any player that you modeled your game after, maybe you looked up to, tried to pick up a few things from, anybody that you watched closely growing up?
Jalen Ramsey, of course, is a guy. Xavier Howard is a guy I watch. J.C. Jackson is a guy, you know, he has the same nickname as me, Mr. Pick Six. So that guy can ball. He takes the ball out the air. Those are just to name a few guys that I like to pick up little things from. But I'm always watching. You know, I'm always watching different guys, no matter what the name is, whether it's big name or little name. College, all levels. I try to take a little thing from everybody. I was even working out with the DB from Middletown, number 2. I forget his name, but he was teaching me some things. You know what I'm saying? He's a dog. He was teaching me some things, and anytime I can learn, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that'll be great. Again, I'll be there this Friday night for Middletown Salesianum. So if you're in the area, want to stop by and do a little halftime interview, come on the air. We'll talk to you there too.
All right, we'll do it.
But a lot going on. At Middletown. We'll be there at Middletown. So there we go. There we go.
I didn't know that was happening. I know it's happening. Because you guys don't know, but well, you guys probably know, but me and Sally, we do not mix too well.
Oh, really?
They knocked us out my senior year.
Yeah, they did.
They knocked me out my senior year when we played them in the Beat the Beast game and blew them out by like 30 the same year. And so they came back in the playoffs and knocked us out. So. We got some beef.
That's right. So you got some beef. We'll take care of it on Friday night at Middletown Cavaliers Stadium. And Esaias, so obviously you're a football player. People know that. But is there any other sports that you like to play a little bit? You play anything else growing up? Maybe, you know, when you're not on the football field, what are you doing? What are you getting into?
When I'm not on the football field, I have a son, so I'm with the family at all times when I'm not on the football field. But growing up, I played basketball. Basketball was actually my first love.
Oh, see, there you go. That's the kind of stuff you get.
I just had to realize, like, oh, all right, you're not too. It's a lot of guys that are 6'1" who can play basketball. You're gonna have to pick, and so I realized I could play football very well at a high level. My IQ for football was higher, and so it was something I had to just let go. I still watch all the time. Yeah. I got family who still play, so I'm always around.
Point guard, shooting guard, what was your
I was more so of a point guard. I'm more so the conductor, the same way I am on the field. So I conduct things.
Yeah, there you go. Floor general, field general. There you have it right there. Oh, Esaias, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with everybody at home here? I know a lot coming up for you here in the next month or so, but just anything you'd like to share with all your fans and viewers? And
I mean, I appreciate you guys 1,000 times over. I'll be re-entering or entering the portal coming at the end of November. So just stay tuned for the things that progress. I'm always watching football, so I'll be at some games. Just being at some games. I'm just a spectator. I'm not on no visits or anything like that.
Make sure that we hear that clearly, everyone.
I'm just
It's
a
just
spectator.
visiting.
It's a spectator.
Just a spectator.
Just spectating.
I pay for the tickets the same way. I'm just a spectator. That's all.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us here on a Monday night. We really appreciate it. Mr. Pick Six here live in studio today in Wilmington. A lot on the horizon for him here coming up in the next month or so. Make sure you show him some love and keep up with him. Big things coming up for Mr. Pick Six. Esaias, thanks so much, man.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
Thank you so much.
Come here.
We appreciate it. We're going to take one more break here on DETV. When we come back, we'll wrap up the NFL slate from Week 5. Look ahead to a little Monday Night Football with the Chiefs and Raiders here tonight. We'll be right back on DETV.